And now the Professed sisters are all in chapel for the great Alleluia. They've had breakfast, they were allowed to talk. The silence was disregarded, and Mother Abundancia sat there like the proud Mother Abbess, and she got her wooden whatever, hammer, and she walloped the table with it. But she forgot that the bang was so loud from all the poaching in her system that the cups and saucers started to do a little jig. But anyway, the sisters had their farewell breakfast. And then they went to chapel for the great Alleluia. And then lots of hugs and tears as they waited for the minibus to come and take them to the station where they could get the train from Cork to Dublin and there be met by their families and spend 2 weeks of pure indulgence. So the junior sisters, well, they said their goodbyes. Many of them, I think, were relieved to see the back end of Mrs. Doyle, and she caught one of them sniggering and she went, "Come here to me, you. Sure, Jesus, what are you on? What are you saying? I heard you. I could see from the twinkle in your eye that you're pleased that we're going, but remember this, sister, we're coming back. And I'll remember you. Your name is in my little book. Just you wait a minute." So she pulls up her habit, and there in the leg of her drawers, there's a pocket and a little book and a pencil. And she said, "What's your name?" "Sister what?" "Sister Ovarian." "Right, Sister Ovarian." "No, Sister Ovaries." "Okay, Sister Ovaries. I've got your name. I'll sort you out when I come back." Sure, Jesus, that took the smile off her face. And Sister Mary from Germany says, "That's a girl, you tell them. These are all academics, they've come with degrees. Never mind, it'll be 60 degrees in the heat when I finish with them." So Sister Marguerite said her goodbyes, tears in her eyes, but not on leaving the shower. No, tears of excitement, going home to meet the love of her life, unknown to this crowd. And Sister Erasmus was there with Sister Theotokos, Sister Fee Lily and Sister Hilarious, Sister Patricia Dupont. She was to go, but they had to keep her behind to do Mother Abundancia's feet. She'll get a train tomorrow. Sister Farticus, of course, and Sister Vomiticus, that's it. They're all going with her. And of course, Del Rosa, Del Fossa. And not forgetting Polyarthriticus. They're all making their way now to the main door. The bell is rung. The enclosure is opened. And there's old Paddy, the driver, packs in their suitcases. And off they go, beeping the horn, great screaming and shouting. And no sooner do they get out of the main gate, off comes the Veils. And they're singing and they're dancing and having a great time. And poor Paddy nearly missed an oncoming car. The vibrations in the bus was hilarious. It was moving south, east, north and west. Anyway, he shouts at them, "If you don't get your veils on, I'm reporting you to Mother Abundancia." So Sister Mary from Brimley said, "Ah, Jesus, there's always a spoiled sport, isn't there?" And of course, Sister Marguerite, Mrs. Doyle, of course. Sure, Jesus, you can't have a bit of crack, can you? There's always some spoiled sport. I suppose we best do what we're supposed to do and look the part. So they all disembarked from the minibus. And poor Sister Farticus, doesn't she lather her black stockings? She caught it on a piece of loose metal. Well, anyway, we got out the nail varnish when we got on the train, and we gave it a little bit of a stick here and there, and it was grand. So anyway, they get on the train, they make their way up to Dublin. They're having a great time, and Sister Alphonsus made them a beautiful snack to take with them. There was a leg of ham. There was a few bottles, what they thought was distilled water. It was the poaching, Mrs. Doyle again. But of course, Mary Gonzilla, she brought out a big slab of cheese and there was some lovely fresh bread. And then they realised they didn't have a knife to cut the ham to have sambos. And guess what? Sister Personificatus said, I've got a hair slide that's as sharp and as razor sharp as a blade. Let me get it out for you. So she started cutting it. And they had a lovely buffet. Oh, they did. Beautiful. And a few swiggins of the old distilled water. You know what I mean? So Mrs. Doyle sat back, burped. None too amusing was that, because when she burps, the train shakes. And they all lie down and they all wait patiently till they arrive in Dublin, when it'll come on the loudspeaker. The train now is coming into Dublin. Would you please check your belongings and make sure that you leave nothing behind, because we're not responsible for your personal items of clothing, etc. So suddenly the train jolts. They're in Dublin. Yes, they are. They're at Amiens Street Station. And they get out. And there's a flurry of families all waiting to meet the new Professed. And soon enough, they all dissipate. They say their goodbyes. But what their parents didn't know, they'd arranged a private rendezvous to see the President of Ireland, Mrs. Mary McAleish. They didn't know a twig. They didn't twig. But a nod is as good as a wink, as they say, don't they? Well, there you have it. So Sister Marguerite, Mrs. Doyle, to all of us said, well, girls, I'll see you at the Basilica for the Novena. Now, don't forget. So the mother of Mrs. Doyle said, what Novena? Well, didn't you know? Oh, absolutely. Sister Bonaventura. Oh, absolutely, he's one of our patrons. So, of course, Sister Suonitis butts in, never heard of him. So she shut her up. And Elsianatus, of course, was there. And she said, never heard of him. Oh, that's right, wasn't he defunct? Along with Christopher and a few others, to make room for St. Padre Pio and a few others, the more modern ones. That's right, sister. Well, we'll see you at the Basilica, don't forget. 2 o'clock. We'll get confession first, then we'll get Mass, and then we'll take part in the Novena, and it'd be nice for us all to be together. Sister Placidus said to Sister Del Rio, isn't it lovely that we can all come together again and pray? We'll probably welcome it. Sister Nirmalantis Gloria said, oh, I love it when we come together. So the other one nudged her, Polyarthriticus, and said, shh, keep quiet, sister. We've no intentions of going to the Basilica. What do you mean? Well, what if our parents turn up? Well, we can always say the devotions were private for the sisters. So, of course, Great Aunt Maud to Mary of Drimnagh says, sure, Jesus, sister, I'll join you. I've got great love for Boniface. She said, oh no, sister, it's a private audience with the bishop. No, the Archbishop. That's right, the Archbishop of Dublin. Oh, no, he wants to see us privately for this private novena, because he's a patron of our order. Sure, the lies are tripping her up big time. Anyway, they all disembark. They said their goodbyes. And then all of a sudden, before they all went off their way, there was an almighty thud. Poor Sister Marguerite, Mrs. Doyle, was getting huge by the minute. And she's shouting, I can't breathe. So Sister Polyarthriticus, who was a nurse, says, oh, let's lie her down and loosen the clothing. She's asphyxiating, meaning choking. And then, of course, Sister Mary of Drimnagh said, listen, I'll take my coat off and I'll use it as a pillow. She said, great. She said, she's swelling like there's no tomorrow. Sister Theotica said, oh my Jesus, has anybody got medical training in this? So they lay her down, and they realised when they formed a screen around her, it was her Trini and Susanna. She was asphyxiating and obstructing. She forgot to take the feckin' thing off before she put on the habit for her profession. She'd had it on over 2 days, nearly 3 days. and she was going blue around her kneecaps. She was, and her neck was puce. Well, of course, Sister Del Rosa Frigid said, "We best get that off now." Well, they tugged and they pulled. To one extent, Monumenta Gloriosa got her feet in her groin and started pulling her. Well, of course, you can imagine Sister Margarita is going pear-shaped. So then they decided to get the hair clip of your woman and they cut it. Well, Jesus, the fat just flew at them. She'd eaten that much and drunk that much poaching, she didn't know whether she was Arthur or Martha. Anyway, she came round and they got her in a taxi and they told the driver, "Take her to Walkinstown," and that's the end of it.